Hi YouTube people. Today essentially I wanted to talk to you about why I think girls with pretty boyfriends never win. Let's just get it straight. I got seriously motivated because of one event that has happened in my life, and I'm gonna tell you later on what happened. But basically why I think girls who have pretty boyfriends never win. With all of that has been going on around TikTok about pretty people lacking personality, either you were pretty since the day you've been born or you actually developed a personality. I think it's like couldn't be closer to the truth. I recently got in contact with a guy who was very attractive, like drop dead gorgeous, and like I'm just a human. I sometimes even forget about my rules that I set for myself, and sometimes I just will go with something that I deeply know that will not end up well. And let's just talk about it. Men who had been born, came out of the womb pretty, drop dead gorgeous, handsome, attractive. Their whole life they've been said, oh, you're so handsome, you can get all of the girls, you can get any girl you want. And they probably did, because that's how our society works. Like, young girls are much more attracted to a pretty guy than an ugly looking guy, and that's just how it works. So by building this ego within themselves, those men just so lack personality, and it shows so much. Like, don't even talk about this to me, because it makes me so mad. I think it's better for a person. Personally, for me, it was better when I wasn't the prettiest child, and throughout my teenage years I was very insecure too. And I think for me personally, to develop my sense of humor and my personality, my like quirky side, I had to be at a certain point called like ugly, or like just me being insecure, because otherwise I would have no personality. I would be such an NPC. It's the case for most of people, and especially men who are considered like the beauty standard, or that they are handsome since very early in their growing up journey. And now I think it's the time that I tell you about my little male friend. Basically, we met on a dating app. And yeah, I know, so our generation coded, but we basically met on a dating app. And I just want to compare to you, for you to better understand, two guys that I've been talking to. Which one, I just already told you guys about him, and his profile was like lacking something, but he had like 3 pictures of himself and he was like okay. But then when he asked me about any social media that I have or anything, and I gave him, I think, my Instagram, and then he asked me about pictures of myself, and I told him that he should send me, because I just saw like 3 pictures of him. So he sent me the pictures, and like, guys, when I tell you, this man was literally, like, I'm telling you, K-drama pretty. He was so, oh my gosh, he was so freaking attractive. He looked like a literal actor from a K-drama. It didn't get any better than that, because just right then, when I sent him my pictures, he was telling me, oh, you're cute. But the thing is that when we were texting, only freaking question that he like was asking me was, how was your day? And like, okay, I understand sometimes you don't know how to start a conversation or something, but it's been a week. Day first, he asked me, how are you doing? Then I like told him how am I doing, and then I asked him. He told me that he's doing something, and I've tried to ask him questions about what particularly yada yada yada, but then he just like plain answered me just like that and didn't continue the conversation anywhere further. And he like the next day it was just all over again. I was asking him questions more in depth, and he was just, oh my gosh, he was the most freaking boring person ever that I have ever met. Like, don't even talk it to me. And that just comes to show that you can't, like, even more if you're a woman, you can't have a partner who is like just plain NPC but is gorgeous. Like, I ended up ghosting this man because he was just so fucking boring. It just comes to show that there have to be some, you have to like have your priorities straight, to be honest, because I know a lot of girls would have just go with the flow with this guy and like essentially become his girlfriend or something. But like genuinely, like, this was the most boring freaking conversations that I had in like my whole life. Like, this was the type of person who would just sit there and you would ask them questions like, oh, how is this going? And they would just say yes or no. Just like that. Those types of people annoy me so much because like my thought process, how you can be so pretty and so dumb. Because like genuinely, I'm not trying to harass somebody that somebody is dumb because he can, but that's literally what it is. You're lacking like this social part of your life. Like, you don't know how to communicate properly with another human, and you're just asking the same question all over again. And when somebody's asking you, how is this doing? Like, what exactly were you doing there? What are your yada yada yada? You're just like, one word, yes or no. Like, how can a person be so boring? How can a person be so interested in you? Because I could see that he's so interested, but he just couldn't get, like, he didn't know any better, because I think he was just pretty from ever since he was born, and everybody around him was just saying, oh, you're so handsome, you can get all of the girls you want. And because of that, he didn't feel the need to develop other things in his life. This is only the thing with people who are pretty since their early ages. Are a teenager and you're not very pretty, you're like mid and then along the way, when you become an adult or something drastic will happen in your life, you just go through the entire glow up and you change to another person. And then like, this is a completely different thing, because pretty people who have become pretty because of some trauma or like just leveling themselves up, it's another thing, because they had the the space to develop their personality. Basically, girls with pretty boyfriends will never win. There is also another thing. For example, let's say he wasn't pretty all throughout his life, he just like got this extreme glow up one random Thursday. The same thing, because then their ego grows so much, and basically when a man is pretty, he's literally acting like he's the prize. I have like actually a second story to tell you. Essentially, this another man that I met on the same dating app, oh my gosh, I liked him. He wasn't like straight up pretty like an actor or something like this previous guy, but he was definitely handsome. He was definitely like taking care of himself, going to the gym, yada yada yada. His face card was very nice too. Then he asked me about my Instagram, so I obviously gave it to him. But the thing is that this man, literally, when I hear something like this coming from a man's mouth, I'm literally like, shut up, please. We were talking about some features on the app that are paid for, and he basically said something like this, like, don't you even worry, we are too hot to be paying for others people attention or something like this. And like, I get it that you're confident, but he was like, if you could see his stories, literally one of those alpha males on TikTok. If you know, you know. And that's so hard. It's so hard to find a handsome man who will also like be a true man. You know what I mean? Be attracted to a man in the like physical form, but also on the inside. Like, it's so hard, because for a girl it's completely different case. Because when a girl comes through a glow up, it's from the inside always. A girl heals her trauma and everything, and then she blooms on the outside too. But with a man, and I hate it so much. I hate seeing those alpha males. Like, get out, please get out. I'm manifesting no narcissistic, no alpha male bros in my DMs, because I literally cannot stand it. The same guy the second guy, he was like very clearly obsessed, and he was just basically like going through my stories and just answering like, oh, you're cute and body too, how can you be, oh. And he was just like very clearly obsessed, and he was saying like, sorry for the spam, but I'm so interested in you, yada yada yada. But then he proceeded to ghost me for 3 days, and then I unfollowed him. Like, obviously, like, obviously I'm gonna unfollow you after you ghosted me, like, get out. And then he answered to me on another platform, and basically he said, why unfollow? And then when I told him that he literally freaking ghosted me, he wouldn't take the blame to himself. He was just like, ah, and making up excuses. And like, why is it so hard for a girl to find a normal man? Like, why is it so hard? Ugly men, like, the whole premise of this video is that ugly men, unattractive men will treat you as you are like the angel fallen from the sky. And literally, like, it's just so sad. The more older I get, the more assured I am in that my husband will not be attractive physically to me, because there is no freaking way gorgeous men will also have all of the things that I look for and all of the characteristics, all of the things that I want him to be doing for me, like there's no way that a pretty, gorgeous man will be doing that. And honestly, like just this whole kind of perspective shifts my brain, rebrands my brain to thinking that I'm actually more attracted to ugly men. And it's not even funny. The more I see girlies on TikTok talking about pick yourself an ugly man that you will not be attracted to, because I think relationships don't work if you like the man more. Like essentially you have to like them 10 times less than they like you. They have to like you 10 times more than you like them. Like he is supposed to be obsessed with you, not the other way around. Looks play a huge part in that, because you have to be a baddie. You are the pretty. Women's supposed to be the pretty ones in the relationship. It just pains me very much to see all of these men who are acting like a prize, or not taking the accountability for themselves, or just like pretending to like you and being obsessed with you at first, and then not acting according to what they said. To conclude all of that I said to you today, I just think that actually it's better to have an ugly man. It's actually better to find yourself an ugly husband who will treat you right. It's better to have an ugly husband that will treat you right than a pretty gorgeous husband who acts like a woman and you will have to wear the pants in a relationship. You just think, I'm just thinking rationally right now. If you would to pick ugly, non-attractive men, not physically attractive men as your husband, then you actually are gaining the confidence in this relationship, because he's obsessed with you, and thus you will be obsessed with yourself and not him, because he's not attracted to you. Like you get all of the nice things from him. You get like the good treatment, princess treatment. He gets a pretty girlfriend, obviously. Basically, you are becoming more and more and more confident because you're pouring into yourself. You're pouring into yourself, not somebody else. You're not chasing somebody else. He is chasing you in this relationship. And then when the roles are reversed, when you get yourself a pretty man, pretty gorgeous man who has an ego top, who is a toxic alpha male, then you will end up giving your energy, end up giving your confidence to him, because he is egomaniac, he's narcissistic, and he will take every little part of your confidence. He will shatter you of the confidence, because nothing builds a man's ego more than getting a pretty girl. So imagine if already nice looking gorgeous man would get a pretty girlfriend, his ego would skyrocket. So do what you want, YouTube people, but I think for my sake I will pick an ugly husband. Okay, that was all. Thank you for being here, and see you in the next video, YouTube people. Bye bye.